Hi, thanks for watching another vintage camera tutorial on our YouTube channel, Forward Cameras. So today we're going to be talking about the HaiOu, or the Seagull camera made by the Shanghai Camera Company. Now, as many of you might know from following my Instagram at Forward Cameras, I have a blog of photography for China and Massachusetts, and also talking about different vintage cameras in our shop or beyond. This one I actually picked up while in Beijing. So this is a really great camera. Now, I was pleasantly surprised. I heard a lot of really great things about HaiOu cameras, but they're pretty rock solid, I would say. And Chinese cameras overall, some of them can be a little wacky, but this one really earned my respect. Now, I've owned many different TLR cameras. What does TLR mean? Well, TLR is twin lens reflex camera. There are twin lenses. There's the lens where you take the picture. This is the actual taking lens where like the shutter and the aperture is. That goes to the film. And there's this lens. This is the viewing lens, which you actually see up here. I'll show you in a little bit. It earned my respect. Why? Well, it feels very nicely built for a more affordable TLR camera. Now, you might have watched our Rolleiflex video. That's one of my personal favorite TLR cameras, medium format cameras. Uses 120 film. This one also uses 120 film. But if you're looking to enter medium format 120 film, I highly recommend the HaiOu. Pretty affordable cameras compared to a lot of Rolleiflex, and they're extremely easy to use. There's zero electronics on this camera, period, so you don't have to ever worry about there being a problem with wonky electronics. It's all mechanical, which I love. So that being said, me professing my love for this very affordable camera, I want to talk about how do we use this for those of us especially who are entering medium format. First thing, well, we need to be able to load the film into the camera. Now, I just so happen to have an example of an extremely good film called Ektar 100. It's made by Kodak. It's very, very professional color film. If you're looking for very rich, vivid sort of colors like greens and reds that pop, this is the film to go. So we would have this film, and it comes in a spool. And what do we need to do? Well, to open this camera, let's get started. To open this camera, we press the lock over here, and we rotate the wheel from close to open, and you notice this pops open. So for those of you who speak Mandarin, right, we have guan, which is close, and kai, which is open, right? So if you follow my Instagram or my Twitter, you'll see some, I'm often in China, so you'll be able to follow me with that, but whatever. Anyway, so pop this open, and you can see the lenses in there. We would put, how do we do this? So right now, I used this recently. So they have this spool. We have to put this as the take-up spool. So we pop the old spool out, and then we move this down, and we pop this into here. Takes a little wiggling, I guess, right? And you get the spool in until it clicks. There's kind of an edge. So takes a little bit of maneuvering here. I'm gonna do this on the side because it's hard to see. Okay, so now it's popped in. That will be the take-up spool. You put the other spool around here, feed the roll film, the 120 film, above the box where the picture negative is gonna be taken, and you feed it into this little hole in here. Once that's done, you move this, you keep rotating it until the arrows, and you'll see there's arrows on the back of the film. Arrows go here, aligned with the bottom of the first frame. You close it. We don't want to get any issues. We close it, and we lock it by pushing it down and rotating until it clicks. And C, close, guan. Okay. Now that we've done that, how do we know what frame we're on? Well, this camera is interesting. You can take either 16 photos or the traditional 12 photos. 12 photos are square 6 centimeter by 6 centimeter large negative photos. But if you want to be having smaller negatives but having more, 4.5 centimeter by 6, you would need to get a special black frame for the top and the bottom to cut down the size, but it is possible. They sell them online. And then you open this up and there's a little red box. You're going to roll the film until you see the arrows, and then you see 1. And when you get at 1, you stop. That's your first frame. And you close it, and you don't want to expose it too long. You don't want the light to seep through. So now we need to take a photo. How do we do that? Okay, that's cool. We pop this open, and we're gonna actually look downwards into here. You can see I have some frames on my wall, but that's where we focus. This, we don't want to mistake this as our focus. Our focus is over here. So we would focus this back and forth, and you'll notice that the lenses actually move up and down when I focus. Okay, I'm gonna just kind of come back to this. So how do we use this? I use a cell phone light meter app to find my exposure, and then I set my aperture, right? How small or big the aperture inside, the little iris inside is, right? And then I would also set my shutter on this side based on what it says on my light meter app. So let's just say I'm looking to do a portrait and I want to use aperture 4. I'd move this down, and then I would look on my light meter app and say, okay, so what shutter speed should I use for that depending on the light, and I move it. Okay, so let's just say it's really bright, it's 300, 1/300th of a second. How do I use this camera? First, I cock the shutter over here, see this? I move it all the way down until it clicks. Leave it. I do my focusing, right? And I'm ready to take a photo. I press down the shutter button over here. Hear it? Shutter is done. Don't make the mistake of leaving on the same frame unless you want to do a double exposure, which you can do on this camera. It's really cool. I've done it. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, now you go back, you open this, and then you keep turning until you see 2, so on and so forth, right? That's how you use this camera. Okay, so what if you want to set this up on a tripod? So there's the tripod mount. You do it on a tripod, put it down by screwing it in, and then you want to take a photo with friends. Cock the shutter. This little red piece here, you move it, and it becomes the timer, self-timer. So then you can, when you press the shutter, you can get to your friends and be in a group, and then have this on the tripod, take your photo together, and then you focus whatever. Then you press this, and then a timer goes off. Once it clicks, it took your photo. This one needs probably a little bit of oil over there, but yeah, or a little cleaning in that area, but that's okay. What else is cool about this? Well, you want a flash. You could hook the flash. There's a flash sink in here, but you need an external bar to hold the flash for you, which is a little annoying. You could put your straps on here. To pop this down, you just kind of press. It closes, opens. There's a little magnifying glass if you want to see, which really helps because it's kind of hard sometimes when it's bright outside. You could move this up. You press this button here and it pops up, and then you have a magnifying glass to look down. What if you don't want to use the focus screen? You can move this up and just kind of look through here. You push that back, see? Push that back, close it. Now, you could also look up information about this particular camera online because they all have this very unique serial number. So apparently mine is from 1970. This is the 4B model of the HaiOu. This is the kind of low, more like if I was to compare it, it would be more like the Rolleicord. not the Rolleiflex, because the Rolleiflex, you would crank it. This one is more like Rolleicord, where you kind of just wind the film. But the 4A will be a little fancier with the crank. And they sometimes come with nice leather cases. Mine came with one that needs a little tender love and care, but they're nice, right? And very good for intro medium format. So that being said, that's how you use this fantastic camera. I have some very good photos that I posted on my Instagram page and my Twitter page from this camera. And so anyway, stay tuned for more vintage camera tutorials. Please subscribe to our channel. We really would appreciate our viewers. Subscribe and to our Twitter and our Instagram at Forward Cameras, and also to our Facebook at Forward Cameras. And lastly, check out our Etsy shop with all sorts of amazing cameras that we sell, different vintage cameras. Thank you so much for following us.